welcome to the channel. I'm Momoina, and in 2024 I moved from Germany to Nepal to be with my partner. Around these parts we embrace the chaos of daily life, find grace in all the twists and turns, of which Kathmandu is plenty. Come along with me as I celebrate the mundane and small moments in life, because I believe beauty lies in the details.